Hello, Laoshi Laurince McElroy here, Water Tiger School of Taijiquan, in another of our pre-recorded video series for our YouTube channel. Today's another one-off. We have sort of pulled back from our original content every week when we discovered that we could upload our Facebook Live sessions that we've been doing since the end of March. So we've actually been uploading one of those once a week to sort of fulfill the purpose, the initial purpose of this YouTube channel. When we started in home isolation quarantine back in March, we started to do the Facebook Live sessions, primarily for a couple of our longtime ongoing public classes for a couple of libraries that had closed. So that was for them, but we also understood at that time that not all of those program participants were on Facebook. So we launched the YouTube channel with the idea of giving them something as well. So they haven't seen the Facebook Live session, so that's why we're doing that. But we are going to throw out some original content every once in a while. It's been a couple of weeks. And today is going to focus on ritual. Ritual is very important, I feel, and so thus, Water Tiger School feels. That ritual is a very important aspect of what it is that we do. It's sort of, if you will, some of the rituals that to which we adhere sort of separates the outside world from, shall we say, the mat, from the training space, from the place of learning. And one of those rituals is commonly referred to as bowing. That's what we're going to talk about today. Now, bowing as a ritual and as a term to refer to it is sort of loaded because people come to that word thinking that it expresses religion and worship. And it doesn't, which is why we tend to use, at Water Tiger School, we tend to say we salute. So we have a beginning of class and end of class salute. We have a casual salute to step into the place of learning. We have a casual salute to step off. And sometimes during the class, to various classes, we will also do what we refer to as a casual salute, saving the formal salute for, shall we say, more formal moments. So we'll get into that here in a moment, but I want to talk about some of the different ways of saluting. Water Tiger School has two. One we refer to, as I mentioned, a casual salute, and the other is a formal salute. And for some, what we do for a casual salute will actually be their formal salute, and that's okay. You don't have to, you don't have to have your hands in any particular position for it to be a formal salute. However, we do. We have the right hand closed, knuckles up, the left hand opened, cupped over the top of the right. Now, many people simply refer to this as a Shaolin salute. And they will refer to the closed fists, maybe, as, the lifeline or power, and the open left hand, cupped over the top, as the warmth of sunshine. We have our own reference to that. We, of course, you know what the yin-yang symbol is, or the yin-yang symbol. It's actually, the Tai Chi symbol, the Tai Chi Chu. And the art is named for the symbol, not the symbol for the art. To us, that salute, the right hand closed, knuckles up, represents the white, the yang, the knowledge, the ability to fight. The left hand, opened, cupped over the top of the right, represents the yin, the black, it's the choice not to. And that's our salute. We do that at the beginning and the end of class. We also do that at the beginning of class is two parts, and at the end of class it's two parts. Coming into the class, the first salute is thrown to our shrine. So let's talk about that. Again, shrine. Sort of a loaded word, but not as loaded as altar. And some people will call that an altar, and that's fine. Regardless of the word, our altar or shrine, it has no religious implications whatsoever. It pays respect to those who have come before. It pays respect to the art. It separates us, the moment of the class, from our everyday lives. Now, this is my little home shrine that I put together when we first went in isolation. It has some of the same elements that the shrine in the studio has, but a little bit different, a different portrait, different setup, that sort of thing. So I have a single tea light candle. Just adds, if you will, to the ambience, to the meaning, to the special moment that we share in class. There is a portrait of young Chien Ho. He is the person in the Young family to whom my lineage goes. Now, I will admit, there is a hole in my lineage. What? What does that mean, Lawrence? Well, what it means is I know who my instructor was. I know who his instructor was. I know our lineage goes back to Young Chien Ho. But I don't know from my instructor's instructor to Young Chien Ho what fills that gap. But anyway, so there's a portrait of him. And again, I know it's a portrait, it's an image. And I'm bowing to an image, but it's not a graven image. It's not an image that I worship. I may talk to this guy every once in a while, just because. But I'm not talking to him in prayer. I'm not asking him for anything, nothing like that. The other two items are personal items. We have different personal items on the shrine in the studio. One is just a tiny little tiger. Right? Water Tiger School, taijiquan. And the other is a student gave me this a couple of years ago. It is a monochromatic yin-yang that he made with his three-dimensional printer. I think home shrines are important, sort of, you put it up in whatever room you're going to practice in, and it sort of changes, if you will, again, the ambiance of the room from this is my living room to this is my place of learning. So we throw a formal bow to Master Young, all of us as a group, and then we bow to one another. And we reverse that process at the end of class. We end class with first a salute to one another, and then a salute to Master Young, and we're done. And the casual bow for us is just arms at the side. And there are times that we do that. Now, since I am the only person in this area, I don't really consider this a place of learning, as I would the mat at the studio, a room at the library, something like that. It just doesn't feel like it is. It's my training space. But if I were to do what I do with the mat at the studio or the doorway into the room at the library, I would have done what I just did to leave. A salute, a casual salute stepping off, a casual salute to step on. And notice that process, that I give the salute before I leave the space. I give the salute before I step onto the space. To reverse that, to step off and then bow, you're already gone. To step on, you're already in the space. So to me, that's too late. Too late, baby. You don't want me to sing. The other time that we use the casual bow is in different partnering exercises. Normally for us at Water Tiger School, other people have a different practice. They'll bow both before the partnership and after it. We do not. If I partner up a couple of students to work a martial application, which of course we're not doing in this remote environment, and we won't do initially when we actually do get back on the mat in the studio, because we don't want that kind of physical contact in the early days of reopening, I would have them give the casual salute at the end of the partnership. In our push hands exercises and all the open hand versions, the salute comes only after the partnership. The exception here is if we have a weapons push hand partnership. We don't do a push hands partnership with the dao, with the knife, with the broadsword. But we do have with wooden jian. So we would give a formal salute both before and at the end of the partnership. Now notice here I have the weapon held in my left hand, and different weapons are held different ways. And my right hand is now open, flat, and in that place. So, it would be different with the staff. If we did have an exchange with the Tao would be held differently. But always for us, for Water Tiger School, the weapon is held in the left hand, and the right hand is the one that's open. So that's pretty much our exchange. Now I want to go back to the arms at the side, because some people, and I did this for a long time, do this slap. Now, online, and if it's online, it's got to be the right opinion, right? People get ridiculed for doing that. I dug into it deeply, and I did find at least one or two different lineages of different arts that consider this another indication I got nothing in my hands. Right? That's a little hard to do if you're holding a weapon in your hand or even palming something, it would come out. So anyway, there is justification for that, but I prefer these days just the hands at the side. So those are our salutes, beginning of end of class, separating us and the space from the outside. So we have sort of that, if you will, a decompression chamber coming into the space. I like burning incense as well. Can't do it. This is a very enclosed space. There's no circulation in really in this training space, so I can't really burn incense here, or even I have breathing issues then. And we use it very limited in the studio because a lot of people have issues with scents, and we don't do it at all in the public classes for that reason, that people have issues with scents and smoke and that sort of thing. So that's sort of Water Tiger School's basics with the salute and that sort of thing. But there are many other ways of saluting. Now, as I mentioned, a lot of people refer to this as a Shaolin salute. There's sort of a secondary Shaolin salute. Again, notice the right hand's really sort of in the same place, and the left hand is palm open. And they do the salute. And the monk salute, and usually sometimes this is referred to as the peaceful monk. You might know this as prayer hands. Some people will call it namaste, which is really incorrect. By the way, and the reason it's incorrect is namaste is sort of like saying hello. So it doesn't really mean what most people say it means. I always used to think that it really did mean, I bow to, I bow to the divine in you, I see the divine in you as the divine is in me, or something like that. And that's, no, it's like saying hi. So it would be as if I were telling people who didn't speak English that hello had some deeper meaning than it really does. But anyway, so there's that. And actually, this is one of the reasons, the difference between this and this is one of the reasons that this particular topic got put in the queue for these videos. Because we had a student on the mat one time who saw a student from the other program came in, where we rent studio space, and they used the monk salute. So he threw a salute to me, so I threw one back to him in his style instead of our style. And the student pulled me aside and was like, could you maybe explain, the difference between the way we bow to one another and two masters bow to one another? There's like a couple of things about that. One, again, everybody does this stuff differently. And two, I'm no master. And neither was he, for that matter, the student to whom I bowed. He was a senior student in their program, but no master nonetheless. So I thought, we need to sort of explain that different people bow different ways. And, again, this is a monk salute, usually referred to as a peaceful monk salute. There's also a warrior monk salute, or what's sometimes referred to as a warrior monk salute. And notice the change. Now, the right hand is open, and the left hand is closed, but the knuckles are up. And that is sometimes referred to as the warrior monk, or just a secondary monk salute. Then you have a white eyebrow salute. Again, the left hand is closed, and the right hand is open. And notice I'm stacking the hands. And that's a white eyebrow salute. And finally, in the salutes that I know, and by the way, I know these beyond this. I mean, this is the way that we threw the salute at Black Dragon School when I started my training a little over 30 years ago. I know these because I ran across them in reference in a piece that Douglas L. Wong wrote for Inside Kung Fu back in 1997. He, by the way, is considered the founder of modern White Lotus. And the last salute is the standard for Hung Gar, as well as for other Chinese martial arts, other Kung Fu styles. And again, the right hand is closed. Again, the left hand is open. You bring them together. Boom. So that's it again. Standard Shaolin, secondary Shaolin, monk salute, perhaps warrior monk salute, white eyebrow, Hung Gar. Couple more things really quick on bowing. One, I am a big believer in Mr. Miyagi's advice to Daniel LaRusso, look eye, always look eye. So regardless of how much trust I have for the person to whom I am bowing, my eyes will always be watching them. And I will not break that visual contact. Other people don't have that particular point of view, and that's fine. If that works for them, fine. The other thing is that some folks put emphasis on the depth of their bow to show the degree of respect they have for the person with whom, they're sharing the salute. So, if I bow, just say, I'm bowing this deep, someone who has that particular belief would then go lower to show that they have more profound respect. They're throwing more profound respect in my direction. Now, I understand that, think it's a neat thing. That's not part of what it is that we do at Water Tiger School, although some of the students do that between one another and to me, and that's fine. But anyway, so there you go. Sort of just an overview of the salute, the salutation, the bow, some of the reasons that there are, some folks who might have issues with it, that sort of thing, the religiosity of it, if you will. Had a student one time who would throw the salute to everybody at the beginning of class, but who refused to throw the salute to Master Young because it was an image, and she did not want to bow to an image because that was wrong. Oddly, the head of her particular place of worship had also been a student of mine in the past in the studio. And when I prefaced his participation with the fact, if you don't want to salute, that's fine. He's like, I know it has nothing to do about worship, and I've also had, other people in other religious affiliations, and both male and female, both priests and nuns, ministers and rabbis, who have all been, willing, who understand that it holds no religious meaning whatsoever. But you have to respect, their particular point of view. We didn't force the woman to throw the salute. We just explained to everybody why she was not. And we do the same thing in the room in the public classes. We don't require it. We just, say this is what we do. If you want to do it, great. If you don't, that's okay too. So saluting, bowing, Chinese salutation, whatever. And I'm sure there are, again, as I mentioned at the end of the sort of the cacophony, if you will, of different salutes. There are probably more out there with various degrees of what people think and feel they mean. So that's it for this one. Kind of short, kind of sweet, hopefully sweet. For now, we're leaving the comment section engaged. We have had some issue with that, with people throwing up ads, so we might have to disengage the comment section, and I apologize if that comes to pass. In the meantime, not sure when the next original content video will pop up, but we'll continue with uploading the Facebook Live sessions. Wear the damn mask. If you can, stay at home. This is my third COVID haircut, and though we are in phase 4 in New York State forward and barbershops are open, I may feel comfortable if, the governor would allow our studio to open, maintaining social distance and masking and that sort of thing. But I do not feel comfortable with having somebody that close to me for that length of time who has had that close contact with that many other people. So my beard trimmer gets a workout every once in a while, and we'll continue to do so for a while. So stay at home if you can, and stay safe. Wash your hands. Cough into your elbow. Ta.